Hi everyone, welcome to Training with Casey, where we explore animal training and living our best lives with animals. I'm Joseph Laughlin, producer of this podcast, and now here's your host, Casey Cover. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Training with Casey. This is your producer, Joseph Laughlin, and on Tuesday we heard how Casey and Denny met and how Denny is now a certified SATS trainer. So now, without further ado, let's hear about how Affair is dealing with a case of perceptual confusion and what Casey, Dave, and Denny did. So Casey, Dave, and Denny, take it away.
And do you want to tell them the story of that, or should we leave it alone? I don't know if we did tell them.
You mean going to your seminar by accident?
Yeah. See, arrogance, your name is Casey Cover. So I go to this seminar that I'm supposed to present, and there's this man and a woman, and they're working with two horses or a horse, and I saw this horse, and of course, Denny was there for my seminar, right? And so I asked him if he would mind if we used his horse for the demo. And he got very thoughtful looking, and he paused for a minute, and then he goes, okay, that would be okay. And so he brought Holiday to the seminar, and Holiday was a great horse. He was very smart. He was very smooth. He just seemed like he just took to SATS. He loved the explanation. He was one of the nicest horses I'd ever seen. And it turns out there's more to that story than I knew at the time. And from that single exposure to SATS, Denny then left with the information from that day and the manual. And the next thing I know, they were winning at 4th level dressage competitions. So now I hit it to you, Denny. Now I introduced you. Yeah, we're ready. Go ahead.
You told your favorite story.
Yeah, one of them. There's still.
Well, going back to Affair, when I arrived a few days ago, she recognized my voice, but she wouldn't let me approach her. And I think the reason for that is I was being mugged by somebody else's horse. And Affair seems to have a bit of an issue getting too close to other horses.
Yeah. Definite stressor, right?
Yeah. However, Mr. Garsky was able to get her where I couldn't. But she did recognize my voice.
It's a really happy thing because she adjusted, and frankly, she moved on. Okay. Now she's Dave's daddy's girl. Yeah. But the thing is that she obviously recognized you, and in no time at all, she was showing that she was obviously happy to see you again.
Yeah.
And to reconnect with you.
Yeah.
And now, isn't that great? It's much better to have a big extended family and have lots of people worrying about you and loving you and so forth. Yeah. Yeah. Well, because, just like looking at it from a zoo management perspective, if something happens to one of us, that destroys the animal's life too.
Sure. But
if there's more people that are very important to them and something happens to one of us, they're more able to keep going. They haven't lost such a big part of their world.
Right.
So yeah, those were really good points. And Dave, did you do anything in particular to get, to be able to get Affair? Or did you feel like it was just the result of the work you'd done before?
No, I just had to, walk out there close enough to tell the markings on, what horse too that I'm calling for. It's been an issue.
That's another story. You should probably tell everybody.
And then we were out there the other day, and Denny says, "She's over there. She's over there." So I started walking towards her, and then I started calling her, and then the horse to the right of me started looking up, and I go, "Oh, that's fair over there in the middle."
Well, and also there's another horse there that looks is marked very much like a fair.
Yeah.
And she's a little redder, she's a little
I
taller.
almost got them confused too.
Yeah, and they both know it. They've like scoped it out. And the other horse is named Gabby, and she'll come running up, and you hold the halter out, and she'll put her head right in it. And at this point, it's happened so many times with various people, including her own owner, that she'll go right to the gate with you and then kind of look at you like, sucker, I'm not your horse. So Dave had
3 times, I think they did that.
Yeah, David come out with somebody else's horses a couple of
And they said,
times.
"Well, let's trim her mane and clip her tail."
Yeah, and the barn staff go, "Oh, well, how's Gabby doing with you today?" That was very tactful of them.
I said, "Let's get some fly feet things for her that are pink, so we can tell the difference."
Yeah, identification by fly leggings.
Finally.
But anyway, she knows who she is, and if we call her name, as Dave was just saying, she'll look up. Okay, so what differences have you seen, Dave? Like, cover the differences you saw that were just related to the goldenrod, and then the differences you see with the last 3 days with the goldenrod and Denis.
And what's the other one? Mugwort.
Oh, yeah, we did do a little bit of mugwort, not very much. but-
Mugwort. Yeah. I mean, I think
which is not a lay person like it is in, oh no, that's a muggle. Sorry. In Harry Potter.
I mean, I think it calms her down just within 30 seconds.
The goldenrod?
As soon as she starts chewing it. Yeah.
That's fast. Huh?
Yeah, because I mean, we just went from not being able to hold still with her even. So today, Denis, you were starting to address her about, oh, please don't fidget. But up until today, like a fidget would have been an improvement, you know? So what all did you guys do to kind of like make the most of the chance to work together and with a fair?
You mean like
Were you guys awake today when you were, did you do any work?
well, you're here longer than I was, but like trimming, doing the hooves and the stretching, the front leg stretching.
Did you get a chance to show Denis how she's stretching her back leg out?
No, it didn't happen very well today.
Oh, okay. So we're still not back to that. So Denis, we've been focusing on asking her to release. I don't know what joint it would be. I don't know if it would be her knee or what, but like at the front of the thigh.
Mm-hmm.
And so holding a hand right there to feel it relax. Good. Asking her to extend her leg all the way back and feeling for that release when she drops that hip and lets that leg really extend, which we didn't see today.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's where she was.
We have it on other film.
Yeah. So, but that's one of the things you were trying to show him. And I noticed with her front stretches, when you got down to the ends of her feet, she was a little bit kind of like standing more like this than this.
Yeah, she wouldn't let her stretch out.
Yeah, so she's still holding a little bit of tension. And really in the future, we should just limit it to where she'll totally relax. Like, don't go out to the further joints. But that's a little hard, right? Because she was doing way out to her hooves all the time, regularly before. So it just goes to show when the animal, emotions change, it can change every aspect of working with them. And one of them is, is this a safer animal or a more dangerous animal because of their inability to cope? One of the things I really appreciated was seeing the cues and how you give them from the ground, because a fair is able to ride dressage and she can collect herself, which is quite an accomplishment. In other words, she consciously understands the art of collection and how to check her own performance. But we didn't know the process of exactly what the cues were, how the cues were turned into behaviors, how the cues were transferred to writing aids. And so we got a chance to see the first level of that today. And I think that's going to be really good, because it's going to allow us to connect her to her old past life, where she was really successful. She was smart. She had this special ability, and then here she's been an unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like, oh, you're being discovered, Affair. We know you can do all these things.
Yeah. Your cues and instructions are different than my cues and instructions. So I think that would be very good to better connect to the past.
Yeah. Yeah. And to that kind of
consistency, if nothing else.
Yes. Well, and it's like you were saying, that it's not hard to make a pathway from one cue to the next, but we just need to make that pathway. We need to find a way to say, okay, this is one way to ask for a turn on the forehead. Hand on the forehead would be something, wouldn't it? And here's a different way. And can you do them both? And maybe we'll cue you this way if we're on your back, and we'll cue you this other way if we're standing beside you. This is all territory that we need to cover with the animals we work with. We can't assume that they're going to project one idea to the next unless we give them guidance and confirmation. Is there anything else that you would like to share with people as far as what you want to come out of this time that we all had together, what you saw about the way that Affair developed in the 3 days that you were here, or the 3.5 days you were here? Anything?
Well, when I said at first, the first day that I came, she recognized my voice, but she wouldn't let me get near her. That went away.
Yeah.
By the second day. And then today, I think between us, we worked with her at least 3 times, if not 4.
Wow.
I did 2 by myself in the morning, and it was almost my horse again.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that behavior that you were referring to earlier. I also, because of when I arrived, I did see the contrast of before goldenrod and after goldenrod. I came in after she was already on it, so I can't really comment on what effect that had. But
if you had seen her, it would have really worried you. I mean, I know you knew I was worried because really, literally, Dave had her out. I could not get close enough to her face to see her eyes to check what I thought the condition of her eyes was.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I tried to get close to her, she was wheeling around and kind of, being, I don't want to say threatening, but kind of the heck with you if I knock you over.
Mhm.
Did you have it before and after? Did you film it? Any of that?
I do have various pieces of video throughout the whole process. You know how it is. You never know if you're going to catch the worst of what you're seeing, but I did catch some of it. Dave, how about you? Like, what have you seen this week? How has this really helped you to go forward with a fair? Just have Denis here, and we already know the goldenrod has made it possible for us to continue with it.
Well, I mean, it's just touching. I mean, it was touching to me to have him reconnect with her, and since he's hasn't been here for 3 years, and I think she did come around and started knowing his touch and
Like
his
remembering
breathing,
it.
and yes, and all other, even his worded training is different than what he used.
Yeah.
On,
Mhm.
body part and stuff.
Yeah, just
and
little things. And she can learn them all, but she just needs a chance to systematically learn them. And I saw some new things to do when interacting with horses to further relationship.
Try blowing in her nose.
Yeah, she
You probably saw me
She's
do that
blowing.
a few times.
she's not sneezed on me plenty of times.
Yeah, does that count?
Sure.
So, Denis, do you have a plan in your mind that you would like to see her progress on, or do you just want to see her get, plenty to keep her interested and engaged with life, or?
Well, I don't have a plan per se. I'm not with her every day. So
Right. What do you,
being 6,000 miles away doesn't help.
yeah. Well, except we may come visit you and we may bring her, so.
Call Sutton Forwarding.
Here's one of the things we've talked about doing, but we're not there yet. We've talked about getting a horse trailer.
Mhm.
So we've always rented or borrowed a horse trailer before, and going out on a regular basis for walks at Northwest River Park. So the idea there is just to get them out and about, and they actually even have a few hills there. I don't know how that happened.
Well, yeah, they're like trails with the trees and stuff also.
Right. And to go down to the water and so on. I think it'd be interesting. It would be more challenging terrain. There's no horses. Well, there are horses. It's an equestrian area, but not like loose in a pasture. So, and I would like to see her do more vocabulary.
Sure.
But that horse is a mover.
She's super smart.
She is super smart, but she likes to put it into action. So I'm thinking, that's the direction to go with her, like versus puzzles in place or something like that. But we can explore it, because what I found with zoo animals is if you had 6 animals, maybe one of them loved to do the vet behaviors and didn't want to do the aerial behaviors, and one loved the aerials and didn't want to do the husbandry behaviors, and one loved the husbandry. So we let them all start in the area that they were most passionate about.
Sure.
But after a couple of months, they all wanted to do everything. They had more confidence, and they had studied what was involved in doing this other thing. And I'll tell you, it was like they were going, Well, if you told me I only had to do that, I would have volunteered in the first place. And then the next thing you know, they're up in front of you when you start to do those behaviors. And they're like, excuse me, did you forget the most important sea lion? Well, yes, I did. Would you like to do this? And the horses are very much like that. They'll see us working with Sarah or a fair. And, Allie and Grace are both just so like that.
Mm-hmm.
They see you in there and they're like, oh yeah, we get it. Can we play too? So they're smart. Well, it's been a great opportunity to have you come out here, and hopefully there will not be pandemics, and we'll all continue to gain in fitness and health. And the next time you come out, who knows what kind of adventures
Who knows?
we'll get to. So anyway, really delighted to see you here. It's always good to work together and spend time. And Dave, you just really not only are her person here and one of the most important people in the world to her, but you also facilitated stuff. Like the first day when she wasn't confident that she remembered Denise, you were able to go straight out and get her when nobody else can even approach her.
Mm-hmm.
That is really an
the,
accomplishment.
When the tornado thing came through, that we couldn't get her at all.
Well, but we fixed that within 33 minutes. There's a video for that if y'all are interested. But the people that feed her every day, and that's all they ask from her is to let them feed her, they were not even able to approach her. But you could still go out there and get her. She was too upset to do anything with for a while. But you have maintained the ability. That's how important the relationship is.
Out of 5 days, I might be able to get her 3 times. Sometimes I couldn't get her at all.
Yeah, like in the 2 weeks just prior to this. Anything else either one of you guys want to say? Like speaking into the future?
Not me.
Aloha.
Aloha, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. So remember, this is perceptual confusion, a horse that has to reinterpret her environment because she lost her vision. And that all these extreme, crazy things happened around her that she had to interpret without her vision for the first time. It's kind of like, okay, let's let you see how you do being blind. Oh, and we're going to also put you in the blender. Yeah, it was intense. So we think we're coming out on the other side of it. So we're delighted. Okay, we'll update some more on affair later, but we're considering this a major breakthrough. Thanks so much for joining us, and see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hey fans, are you enjoying Training with Casey? Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Casey Covert on YouTube. That is youtube.com/C/Casey Covert. Also, give the podcast a like, share, and comment. Thanks for joining us. Come back for more news and views on animal training and living with animals. Stay at the top of the pack with Casey. This is Joseph Laughlin, producer of Training with Casey. See you next time.